Let's set the record straight. Myths versus facts. Trapped. Avoiding New Year's resolution pitfalls. Here we go. Dr. Bess, here we go. First statement. Self-care is not necessarily being selfish. Myth or fact?
Oh, that is a fact. It is not selfish at all.
I love it. Please explain. I love it. Please explain. That's awesome. That's not so. It's true.
I think
explain.
From the definition we typically think of as selfish, which is someone who is going to elevate themselves at the cost of others. I think we, in the real definition, it can be seen as selfish because it is self-centered. Self-care is, I've got to know me, so I've got to take the time to know me, not others, and then I've got to take the time to do something for me. I think for some people it's so clearly selfish that then they feel bad about it, where instead if they saw, I love that, I use the analogy of the airplane too, if they realize that is my oxygen mask. If I take that moment to be selfish, if that's the word they have to use, so that there's more of me to be selfless to others, then do that. But if you have to call it that, go for it. But at the end of the day, it's only selfish enough to be able to be selfless in the end.
Wonderful. Thank you. Here we go. Lindsay, myths versus facts. Here we go. Here's a statement. It is important to stay the course with our goals during both good and bad times.
Yes.
Yes?
Fact.
Please explain. Stay in the course.
You know, as I mentioned
both
before, it's important not to get discouraged, not to be hard on yourself. When you take a step back, reflect, and keep moving forward.
Yeah, it does.
Yes,
yeah, I mean, you have to stay. I mean, that's how we get personal growth at the end of the day, and we can grow all the time from our experiences. Here we go. Dr. Bess, here's a statement. Burnout is entirely preventable.
Woo, that's
give you a loaded one. Yeah. I don't even know the answer to that one, y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
In this world, entirely is a hard one. So I would say 80-20 rule, burnout is, the majority of burnout is up to us to mitigate. So I would say mostly fact in terms of burnout is something we can work to prevent.
Excellent.
How's that, doctor?
Hey, that is great. I don't even know the answer, y'all. That's a tough one. Here we go. All right, Lindsay, I like this one. People will not change unless they truly want to change.
Totally a fact.
Please explain.
You can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do or anything that they're not ready to do. So you have to want it within yourself.
Wonderful. Thank you. Here we go. Next statement. I like this one for Dr. Best. Being busy is a decision. Our priorities dictate what we choose to do.
Oh, that's 100% fact.
Please explain.
I heard I think it was a podcast that said that the person would not use the word busy anymore. And so it's almost, it's in terms of how we define ourselves. And so I committed to, it's been almost a year where I won't say, oh, I'm so busy, or how are you? Life is busy. So I'll say life is full. And it's been awesome to see, just even by stopping, by defining ourselves as human doings, not human beings. So yes, busy is something that we decide because we use society pressures or other messages that we have to do everything, when really we have to be born and we have to die, and everything else in between does have some level of choice to it.
Wonderful. Thank you. Here we go. We'll do a couple more of these. Lindsay, I like this one here. Here we go. Sometimes we just need to get out of our own way to avoid relapsing on our New Year's goals.
Fact.
Please explain.
I think it's important to, again, get in touch with yourself, as scary as that might sound for some people, but you have to know what's in your mind, what's in your heart, what are your fears, what are your doubts in order to pass them. It's like, one of my mentors, Mark David, he says, in order to find your way out of a forest, if you're lost, you have to acknowledge the fact that you're lost.
A lot of us may not do that.
So yes, getting out of your own way is a challenge, but before you can get out of your own way, you have to know what's in the way.
Excellent. We like to always say, kind of check your ego at the door. But once you realize that you're not perfect, even though you might try to act like you're perfect or things like that, the possibilities of improvement are just unbelievable. But yes, gotta get out of your way. We also call that self-sabotage.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of bad there. Here we go. We'll do a couple more. I love this. Just the insight on this, what we're doing. Here we go. I like this one for Dr. Best. I like this one. Here we go. Working toward a goal provides a major source of motivation to actually reach that goal, which in turn improves performance.
Oh, that's a good fact.
Please explain.
Well, it's everything in a nutshell of what we said. We have to know what we ultimately want to achieve in a certain period of time, we need to break it down into smaller increments to get it done. So that would be every day we need to know what part or how we're working on it, and ultimately then that will give us the energy to achieve it.
Wonderful, thanks. Here we go. Last one on myths versus facts. Lindsay, this one's queued up for you. Here we go. You must evoke behavior change for those you care for before evoking behavior change for yourself. Those you care for before you evoke it in yourself.
If I think I understand this correctly, I want to say myth,
Yes.
right?
Oh, that's what I say. I mean, it's your call.
Right? You have to be the agent of change. If you want others to be a certain way, feel a certain way, you have to act that way too. I always talk about this just as an example. Women who come to me who have daughters and they say, I just want my daughter to love her body and nourish herself and just have a good relationship with food. And then I ask them, well, how's your relationship with food? Right? Because people pick up, especially kids pick up on these things from their parents.
Well, wonderful. Well, there you go, everybody. Thank you for an awesome myths versus facts. So we have about 5 minutes or so left.